Okay, here we go. Starting the show. In 3, 2, 1, go. Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us under the library. This is our Call of Cthulhu actual play show. It is set in a homebrew universe written by our keeper, where the story is created by all of us collaboratively in the moment. If you like what we do here and care to support the show, there are two ways you can do that. One is to purchase a copy of our module. It's called The Snake's Oil. It's set in and features characters and NPCs from Season 1 of this year's show. You can find it on DriveThruRPG. And again, it's called The Snake's Oil. You can also hit us up on Patreon. There are some very cool rewards over there, and it really does help what we do here. You can find us at patreon.com/underthelibrary. Or if you don't want to remember all that stuff, you can just head over to underthelibrary.com/support. There are links to both of those things there. Also, don't forget, our other show is called Up Your RPG. It has all kinds of amazing role-playing gaming tips to get more roleplay out of your TTRPG. It can be found wherever you get your podcasts. Again, that's Up Your RPG. With that, let's start a show. My name's Arthur. I'm playing Buddy. We are back to full strength tonight. That means I'm joined by Emily as Joe, Wayne as Sister B, Rick as Sam, Scott is playing Eddy, Chris is Pappy, and as always, our keeper is Michael. Michael, the show is all yours.
Thanks, Art. And speaking of the Snake's Oil, our friends over at Percentile Vice are doing a really kind of kick-ass actual play of it. It's 3 episodes, and they're wonderful, funny, and really referential to everything here. So check out Percentile Vice if you want to hear Snake's Oil, because who knows when we'll ever get to it. With that, I need to give out our disclaimer. We are a horror tabletop role-playing game set in the Call of Cthulhu universe. As such, we feature bodily horror, traumatic imagery, and the list probably goes on and on. Rick's here tonight, so cannibalism is on the table. And so with that, if you can put caretaker of an elephant, a spouse that doesn't notice, and a door that won't open into some sort of logical sequence, you're probably in the right place. And I'll turn it over to Emily for last week's recap.
Sure. Thanks, Michael. So last week, Pappy left Sister B at the pharmacy and he followed Joe to the ice cream shop where he sees her through the window, but then the scene freezes as he meets Betty Lou's eyes. So what looks like glass feels like wood, and he works his way around the building but cannot find a way in. At the same time, over at the gas station, Eddy gets Buddy out from the tunnel, but Sam falls deeper into his vision and is briefly incapacitated. When he comes to, he hears Eddy talking about him and perceives an insult, and then cold cocks him from behind. In the ice cream shop, Betty Lou shows Joe a vision, an alternative vision of her past, and the guilt and horror sent Joe spiraling into madness.
Alternative? Wait. Who put alternative in there?
I put alternative. Alternative from what she knew of her own history.
Oh, okay. All right.
It is
All right.
alternative to everything presented so far in the show.
Okay.
Alternative doesn't have to mean false. It just means other.
He got a little sensitive there.
Mm-hmm.
He did.
Yeah, you
he
could push the
really
button.
did.
Yep.
I just
Beep.
used a word that means a simple thing.
Okay. All right, hit the button. Hit the other button so that we can get going, Circus Peanut.
Oh, was that the end of it?
Yeah, that was the end of it.
Oh, okay. I thought there was more recap.
He's not so good at that insinuation part.
I was
Recaps are short
I was
now.
reading the first
You
Circus
wanted them
Peanuts.
shorter, so they're shorter.
But Circus Peanuts.
So short that you cannot get Circus Peanuts during the
I'm out of
recap.
circus.
Oh, there's nothing that short. Really? Well, come see
My
me.
kids found them and they ate them all.
Because
Most
they're
things.
delicious.
Oh my god. So many comments. Okay, most things we do in this show are above the table, so to speak. But right now, Emily, I need you to make that roll that I suggested that you might need to make.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow, there's something secretive going on here.
Yeah, there kind of is.
Was it a listen roll?
Yes, it was.
Okay. That is a regular success.
Okay, brilliant. All right. So I think, let's see. We need to start. Normally I open this part up, but I think we could start with, we can start with Buddy and Eddy and Sam, or we can start with Joe.
So I
Whatever
do
you
think that
want.
we need to start with Joe to give some context to what happened last week.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I think that works.
I'm so excited. The words are going faster than my brain.
I'm not sure if my excitement is the same as your excitement, or maybe I have none.
I feel like I'm
minus
getting
fear.
a weird POV session with Wayne that I probably should have paid for.
Is this going on our OnlyFans channel?
Good Lord.
No. All right. Okay. We need to get into game mode here, like serious face. All right.
Yeah, if you're starting with Joe, she's having a hard time right now.
Okay. So what's the last scene that we left off with Joe? The last moment. I believe it was her heading down into the basement with a pair of pliers. That's the last thing I remember.
That's correct.
Okay.
And you'll tell me if this gets NSFS.
Oh, it
yes.
probably already is.
Yeah, sorry about that, Scott. Yeah.
I
You
take
probably
off my
can go ahead and
headphones?
you can de-headphone and we'll bring you back in a minute. All right. So we left, we've come back, and I need you to tell me Joe comes back up the stairs. So this is past Joe in the vision, and she looks at present Joe, and present Joe is feeling claustrophobic and caught in this vision right now, right? Like she's tried to
Yeah.
exit it
She
multiple
can't
times
get out. Yeah.
and she can't. And past Joe locks eyes with her as she comes out of the basement. She has a tooth in the pair of pliers. The black fluid is rolling through her eyes. They're bloodshot on the sides. There's no real better description than to say that she looks demonic. And I'd like you to narrate what you see her do or the end of this scene.
What I see Joe from the past do?
Yeah, what's going to be this kind of memorable moment that would stick out as the end of this vision for her?
Okay. So we lock eyes. And I just want to ask for clarification. Can current present Joe control her movements, or is she just kind of drawn along by wherever past Joe is going?
She is kind of following her along, but if you want to time dash to a specific spot, you're welcome to do that as well.
No, that's okay. I just
Okay.
wanted to know if if she moves, I move, essentially.
Right, but I guess you could think of yourself as maybe almost like you could walk around her in this vision. So if you wanted to take a different angle or
Mhm.
something, but you're kind of tied to, but though she walked in, you did watch yourself walk into your parents' room and not go in there with her. So you do have some sort of autonomy, but you're stuck in the vision.
Okay. I guess I was just asking. I'm just going to narrate what she does, but not what current Joe does, because current
Perfect.
Joe doesn't have a lot of autonomy. That's sort of
Yeah.
what I was trying to get
Yeah,
at.
yeah, yeah. Yep.
Okay. So I see her walk into the bathroom and take a little white towel and just clean the tooth, which is bloody, drop the towel on the floor, and then she goes into the bedroom and pulls the little box out from under her dresser, and she drops the tooth in there and puts it back. And then as she slides it underneath, she looks up into the doorway and locks eyes with me again, with Joe again. And this time there is a sort of recognition in her body language, not in her eyes because her eyes are black, but a sense of energy, as if she knows that I'm there. And focused on me, she moves toward me and then past me and continues. And she goes back to the kitchen, puts the pliers back where she got them, and then goes through a few more drawers, comes out with a very large knife, and approaches Joe, me, and I find that I can't move. Whatever sense of autonomy I had is gone. And she just slowly draws it across my throat. And I pop back into my body. And Michael, you're muted.
We're going to cut from what you just described to kind of a drawn away 3/4 camera view of you and Betty Lou sitting at the table. And Joe's eyes are wide open and she's completely frozen. And Betty Lou is bringing her hands back towards herself. I'm going to leave that scene and cut to Pappy and Sister B.
Pappy's muted.
So yeah, I couldn't get
Wouldn't
in
have wanted to miss that.
Yeah, I couldn't get in the building, so I'm hightailing it back to the pharmacy.
Oh, and I guess Sister B would have come out of the pharmacy. What time of day is it? Like, it was morning.
Yeah, it was morning.
Is it a beautiful morning? Because she would not sit inside. She would go outside for fresh air.
Yeah, and Pappy, can you make make a spot hidden roll, Pappy? I need to check on something.
74.
Okay, so that's a fail.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead then.
Hey, Sister B, we got trouble.
And he says, "Oh, what kind of trouble could be on such beautiful morning? It's wonderful."
The trouble we were headed towards. Remember, we were going to the fucking ice cream store because Joe's in trouble.
Oh, language.
Well, I'm just reminding you of the urgency. It's almost like you were gone for a week and forgot.
that could be.
But it's so I got there, and that witch or whoever she is looked into my eyes, and next thing you know, I couldn't see anything in the building. But I did see she's at the table with Joe, and she was reaching out to touch Joe's hands. So something is seriously wrong here.
So the building was locked. You could not get into building.
I couldn't find the door.
Oh, she had some sort of spell. She did. She has trapped our Joe.
Yeah,
so
something in my mind.
She tells us to protect Joe, and then she does things like this. Let's go back to ice cream shop and see what happened.
Okay, and whatever you do, if you look through the glass, don't look in the witch's eyes.
Oh, she has done things when we touch her. Man, I have looked into her eyes before, very, very deeply, and that's when that ocean stuff. This is very interesting.
So keep your eyes closed, maybe. Find the door, keep your eyes closed, and open the door, and then we'll just go in there and try to save Joe.
So Sister B with her suitcases following Pappy to ice cream shop. Sister B did not know where it is. You do.
Okay. So when you get to the ice cream shop, Sister B, it's going to look to you like they're frozen in time. But Pappy, you'll immediately notice that this is the same scene that you walked away from, 5-10 minutes ago.
And Sister B goes over to door and she lays her hand on door and she says a few words to herself and Does the door seem real? How does it seem to Sister B? Is it like Pappy described it, or does it seem just like an ice cream shop?
If you're are you trying to like reach for the handle, or you just so if you're laying your hands on the glass?
Yeah.
First of all, it doesn't feel cool at all, right? Like glass would feel. It feels like a hard, kind of stiffened surface, and it doesn't seem to react like it should.
And so Sister B is like, this is all very strange. This is almost like material is different. And then she looks around on the ground to see if she could spot.
And Sister B, to be clear, right? You can see Joe and Betty Lou inside the ice cream shop at a table sitting there, but they're not moving at all.
So Sister B reacts and looks on the ground for handy rock, cinder block, brick, things, anything like that.
Sure. Make a luck roll.
Yep. Let's do our big old dice right here, and nope, just missed it.
Okay, so
I
there's
I like Sister B's idea.
Yeah,
Smashing the window. So I'm going to look 23. So that's a regular success.
and that's fine. You'll find some crumbled bricks and maybe a small piece of what would make sense here, like a small piece of pipe that was left outside one of the shops nearby.
Okay, I give Sister B the pipe. In case you want to go crazy on it, and I'll just huck a hunk of brick at the window.
Yeah, Sister B watches what happens with the brick before using.
Make a dodge roll, Pappy.
Dodge roll.
This will be what you do for doubling the look for the bricks.
Okay, I made it. Let's see how.
Okay, all right.
Well
Then if you made it,
it's a hard success.
You chuck the brick at the wall and it flies right back at you, and you quickly like kind of move your head. You do notice that it left a dent in the image that's in front of you.
And says, "No, Mr. Pappy, this makes no sense whatever." And then she takes the pipe and just gently, taps the glass. Gives it a whack.
Okay, and it makes a sound like you're knocking on a really thick door as you do that.
And I said, "Oh."
And the image is chipped. Where Pappy threw the brick, there's no longer. Let's say it was glass. It's now. If you want to, you could make a spot hidden on this.
So this is where she's starting to put something together, and she says, "Oh, I have seen things like this. This place is disguised. There was some sort of a system to put camouflage over this to hide what it really is." And she rolls a 70, which is terrible.
Yeah, and so it's just a really hard kind of unidentifiable surface.
And so she puts down the pipe and the fact that there's something else. So she says, "I think the surface is hiding something underneath. I think this is some sort of phantasm." And she starts reaching for what would be perhaps like if you had laid an image over a wall where there was a door, the door that would be underneath. It's like she's feeling for a frame.
Yeah, I interject that last week I did that all along the.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you miss a week. Okay. So that's that would be her thing. So she does do that, I was going to say. And then I assume Pappy would say, "No, that's okay. I did that already."
Yep.
And while you're doing that, though, while you're feeling and Pappy interjects, you feel the surface turn from kind of that texture that it was to the coolness of glass. And you're able to see through it, and you see a table inside with just Joe sitting there all by herself. And we're going to cut to Sam and Eddy and Buddy.
It's the Buddy and Eddy show. Now with Sam.
Now with more Sam.
Now with more punches.
We got more Sam.
So who threw the punch? In the recap, I didn't catch that. It was
fast. That was
Three
Sam.
guesses.
Yeah, who do you think? Punchy McPuncherson over there.
Okay. So
throat punch.
So no women were punched in that episode in the throat.
Well, I mean, Eddie was punched, so.
Eddie showed self-control, and
Man.
Sam and Eddie sort of worked it out. We'll see what happens.
Well, we worked it out there, buddy.
All right. Thanks for the
Yeah.
clarification.
Buddy was pretty close to shooting him.
Again.
Again?
I don't know.
So when we left it, I had said I'd been saying to Buddy that it was unfortunate. Just to remind everyone, it was crazy how far we'd gone afield from sort of our initial thing about looking for Lana, and even before that, trying to track down Richard and the suspicious death, which is what brought us here in the first place. And then Sam's ears perked up, and that's when we left.
So
Yes,
where is Lana? What happened to her?
I don't even know what happened to her. I everything happened so fast. I haven't even heard if they recovered her or not. If they got a body, if they took her away.
We
Who
still
knows?
gotta
And why
find
did they
Lana.
even take her in the first place? We didn't even find out why they took her. We're no better off than when we started, and we're worse because I got punched in the face, and you got smashed by a building.
Yeah, my ribs hurt.
Yeah, we got
Now, hold on, you two. First, are you talking about Lana, one over at the old drinking hole?
Yeah. How do you know Lana?
Lana's just an old bar fly. She's always there. You poke your head in. But more importantly, I have to ask you. You mentioned someone's name, Richard.
Yeah.
Which Richard are you talking about? Someone here in town? Someone outside of town? I'm just curious.
What's Richard's last name?
What's Richard's last name?
Richard Hovenhausen.
Beauregard.
I kind of eliminated it from my head because y'all made.
I think
so
it
much
was
fun of
Fenger.
Finger.
Finger
What?
sounds-
No, that was definitely
Dick Finger.
not
It was
Richard.
definitely Dickie
All right.
Finger.
Oh,
Okay, wait.
Wait, are we still penalized
Hold
if we
on.
say Dick? Because I want to say Dick Finger.
Well, I can go get the old journal.
It's okay.
I'm
We'll just-
looking at the.
Fiber.
thank you.
Fiber.
All right.
Sorry. So yeah, we the whole thing that got us started in the first place is I was here looking into a suspicious death about Richard Feimer. He's an important guy in town, and he got dead in a way that doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and it relates to some other stuff. But he's been helping me. We've been helping each other. We're investigating this guy's death, and it seems like every time we go down one road, it gets blocked for us, and we got to look for another road.
Oh, I see. And this is Richard Feimer. He's the one up on the hill. Is that right?
Yeah, he's got that nice big house.
Yeah, I've seen it. Interesting. Why you boys so fascinated by this, and what?
Sam, I got to ask you a question. We've said it, and I feel like it's just not getting through that thick old head of yours. And if you punch me in the face, I put a fucking bullet in you. Did you know that I'm an FBI agent?
No, sir.
Yeah, and I'll take out my badge and I'll say, just so you know, you punched an FBI agent in the face. And I'm going to point to Buddy and I'm going to be like, and he is military police, and he is trained to put bullets in assholes like you when they punch his friends.
Well, you should know, sir, and I'm looking over, buddy, that your ass was saved by a goddamn veteran. And I'll say, and you're welcome for it. And I'm sorry about the little kiss on the cheek there, Mr. Eddy, FBI man. But more importantly, why is someone with such a prestigious title coming down here to our neck of the woods? This seems a little outside of your East Coast swag.
Who said anything about East Coast?
I mean, his access ain't Texas.
I was gonna say. I mean, that is.
And I got to say, just a little anti-Semitic. All right. So, I mean, you sort of, I don't know if you know this or not, Sam, but the guy that was killed, at least that we are pretty sure was killed, he did a lot of work for the military, and he got killed in a way that is connected to the base. And so that makes it a federal matter. If we left it to the local cops, they're not going to be able to have access to the base. They're not going to be able to do what they got to do. This falls squarely in the jurisdiction of the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Oh,
and
my Lord.
I've got cooperation from my good friends in the military because they gave me their best and their brightest right here with Buddy.
Buddy kind of looks around, like looking for who the best and the brightest is.
Yeah, and Sam looks around, and so
no one says a thing about my friend Buddy.
Oh, and I see. I'm a little acquainted with the base myself. See, I deliver and prepare their foods. I'm a rancher myself. I've got a little bit of a piece of land on the other side of town, but this Richard.
I've always been partial to fried chicken myself, but that sounds pretty good.
Well, it's funny you say that. There was some fucking hooligan coming into this goddamn town trying to do that. And he pulled the most ridiculous insult and prank on my little Amos. And
did he randomly punch someone? Because that would be terrible.
Sounds like you actually have a lot in common with him.
Oh, I know. It's funny.
Same psychological profile.
Same. Yeah. Funny you say that. I heard he was affiliating there with Mr. Richard. You know anything about that?
Who was it? I know what you're talking about.
This chicken purveyor, Mr. Bello Pole, who decided to come on down here to this city.
He just said he liked fried chicken. He didn't say
I just said I like fried chicken, you idiot.
Sam has a little bit
I'm
of a
writing
grudge.
down Bello.
Yeah.
Sorry. I went on a little bit of a
little PTSD going
little
on.
PTSD
I'm writing down
tangent.
the name Bello Poulet, and I'm like, we got to check this guy out, see if he's related somehow.
Oh shit!
Mr. Sam, I think we need to talk about your trauma responses. I think you might need somebody to talk to.
Well, it's
you
probably
seem to
right.
get pretty severely triggered.
Well, when you have something like this happen, and I pull like my collar down a bit to show the scars again over to Buddy, then you're not left exactly in one piece. But I think
we all have our own scars.
That's fair point. And so, what have you found out about this Richard? Anything I need to be worried about? I got a family here in town.
You seem awfully interested in this. You're asking some questions. Not that I mind. Questions are pretty good. I like asking questions myself. But you seem like you might know something about our friend Richard here that we're investigating. What can you tell me about him?
Well, I just know he kept to himself up there on the hill, and not for nothing. It's important for me to just be aware if there's any murders or killings or what happening here on town. I got a family to look after, and he was known to be a pretty bright man. So if he's dead and found himself at the opposite end of somebody's attention, then that somebody must have had it out for him pretty good.
Yeah, well, that's what we're investigating. Okay, if you got nothing else to contribute, I think we're probably done with you. I got to say, if you put your hands on anyone again, or unless you have any relevant information that you decide to share because it would be germane to the discussion, that would be fucking amazing.
Oh,
but
I see.
Otherwise, we can just go on our way and never see you again.
Well, that sounds pretty damn good to me.
I think what Eddie's saying, Sam, is he's going to leave you to role play with your wife for the rest of the season.
Protect your secrets. All good. So I'll be like, so Sam, do you have anything else you'd like to share with us?
Oh man, well, I'll be honest with you, Mr. Eddy.
Hey, you can call me Eddie Dildingendorf. You can call me Eddie Ten Fingers. You can just call me Eddie. Never call me Mr. Eddie. That makes me feel like a horse.
Dill what?
You got it. Let it roll off the tongue. Dildingendorf.
Dildingendorf.
Until you've had a mouthful of Dildingendorf, you don't know nothing.
Okay, we're going to move on from the bad accent club and go back to Sister B and Pappy and see if they can save this episode.
Okay, we are at the wall and door, and Sister B thinks this is a trick of the mind, and she tries to quiet herself, and she does a little prayer, and she sets her hand on wall and door, and she wants to be able to. It seems to be the glass was. I don't know if the glass was coming more apparent that it was real, and maybe we saw Joe inside, but she's not quite sure. So she just wants to calm herself and feel where the door is and the handle, and if things are seeming more natural. But she wants to try to get over this, what she seems to be a figment of her mind, and is
All
not
right.
real.
Make a sand roll with that old Sister B. I think you should be able to cover this one, but we just want to make sure.
Oh yeah, 20. Got it.
All
Good.
right. So what you're feeling, everything seems to feel exactly like it should. The handle on the door, the glass feels like glass, the wall parts feel like wall. They feel like the stucco. So all the textures seem to line up with what you're touching.
Okay, and without opening her eyes, she reaches over where the door handle for ice cream shops should be, where it would be the door would open or push in, whichever way it goes.
It pulls open towards you, and as it does, some little bells ring. Ding, 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 ding.
And she opens and hears bells, and she takes a good smell, and it smells sort of natural. She doesn't open her eyes yet.
So as she walks in, the smell is that sweet confection smell of an ice cream shop, right? Like waffle cones and cool air and the freezer cases of the dessert that had been open, like they release those aromas. And so there's the smell of like chocolate and sweetness in the air.
Okay, so she steps inside and takes a deep breath and calms herself, and then and just opens her eyes as calm as can be, and looks over to where Joe would be sitting at table.
Right, so you're looking straight ahead, right? These are classic chrome back chairs with the chrome around the tables, and Joe's sitting there absolutely unnaturally still.
So Sister B moves over, scoots over, puts anything she's carrying down, and then puts her hand quietly. Are Joe's hands on the table at her side? How is she sitting?
Joe's hands are, one of them is across the table, like in the same place. So she kind of had a hand across the table in front of her, and that's where Betty Lou had rested her hands. And then one of them's down by her side. So she has one on the table and one down by her side. And on the table, between her and her arm, is a book.
The book that Sister B has seen?
Oh, that's right. Yes, Sister B has seen it.
Yep. Okay. And so Sister B reaches over and puts her hand very, very carefully and quietly on top of Joe's hand that is on table. Just to feel the temperature, really, she wants to do, and if there's any energy or such like that, might be going on. Anything, a telltale thing.
Can I just clarify something quickly?
Sure.
I don't think Sister B saw. This is Hans's book?
Yes.
Okay. Because she saw my journal, like my sketchbook that I drew the face in.
Yes. Okay. So
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Let me clarify. It is a different book than the one you saw, Sister B.
Oh, okay. Is it kind of sinister looking?
No, it's not. It's not sinister looking in any way whatsoever. Honestly, it's a bound book. In terms of, it's not a mass-produced. It's not a mass-produced textbook, but rather it looks like a journal.
So like a graduate level math book.
Wait, what? No,
That
it's
has-
like a
That has
like
no
a-
title.
Yeah,
Just
no, like
one problem in it.
Yeah, no, just like a leather casing on the outside that and that it could be tied together, right? Like a
Oh,
little loop.
gotcha. Okay, so that's interesting too. So she feels Joe's hand to see if it is very, very cold, and if or if there's any warmth coming through it, like a normal body temperature. And then with her other hand, she reaches over and she she just feels, doesn't touch the book, but she feels near the book. This if the book is emanating any heat or energy or some quirky oddity. Since so many
Make an
strange
occult
things.
roll.
Oh.
And while you're making the occult roll, when you touch Joe, she's absolutely frigid.
Okay, so occult, very, very low number.
Yes, it should be, as it should be.
That would be a 96.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Huh. Wow. All right. And what's happening as you look at the book?
We need
No,
we need a
she-
boom boom boom.
She
Seriously.
she felt over it. So book.
No, it's totally the wrong feel.
That's
Totally the
right,
wrong
no.
feel.
So if book was sitting on table, she reaches over to it and keeps her hand like you would be feeling above a burner of a stove. If you go by a burner. If you know someone.
Got
you
it.
just been
Okay,
cooking.
make a sand roll. I know how to resolve this. Ha 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 ha.
Sanity, sanity, sanity. Got it. We're okay.
Okay, take 2 points of damage then. That's no fun.
Sanity.
Yep.
Where's my pencil? Oh,
He says that a lot.
I don't have a pencil.
As your hand's hovering above the book, you feel an ache in your arm, and it's creeping up your bicep through your shoulder and into your head, and you almost hear a voice in your head that says, "Hold me."
Oh.
Now, do I see Sister B? I see what Sister B is doing. Do I see
Yes.
her physically react, like draw her hand away from the book? Or
I don't know. What does Sister B do?
Sister B had hand on Joe's hand, and then other hand, and then all of a sudden had this crazy sense, and then something that said, "Yeah, I'm gonna roll to see if she's startled."
And Pappy, where are you while Sister B's kind of making this roll? Tell me about where you are.
I'm right there.
So
I came in when she
are you
came in.
behind Sister B? Are you around the table? Can you see Joe and Sister B? I'm just
Yeah, I
trying
can
to think.
see. Yeah, I can see Joe and Sister B.
Okay,
I saw that
so-
Sister B was going to help Joe,
Okay.
so I swung around so I could see.
Can you make an occult roll for me, Pappy, as you're doing
That's
this?
what I was hoping to do. I have a very high
Yeah.
occult rating.
Oh, you do. Nice.
8. That's well, let me check. It's got to be an extreme success.
It's gotta be,
Yes,
yeah.
an extreme success.
Okay, so as you walk around Joe, you feel the cold. You like don't extend anything out. You're kind of mentally in this space of preparing to interact with this scene. And as you move around Joe, that coldness emanates towards you. It doesn't chill you, it doesn't affect you. You're just able to take notice of it. And then as you move around the table and you watch Sister B's interaction, you're basically very keenly aware of what she's doing, and that as she puts her hand over that book, whether Sister B has a major reaction or not, which we'll find out in a second, if it's a mild one, you're perceiving it all essentially. Right, you're essentially you know that whatever Joe's state is not a natural state, and that you're in an ice cream shop, and that something is very wrong at this moment.
And with my background, I am extremely interested in the book because if it's the type of book that we all suspect it is, I have to take it and get it to our organization. We call the person the librarian.
Okay.
Which
Great.
is where all of books like that go under lock and key.
Okay. And I think what we'll do then is we'll cut from this moment with unless Sister B, will you just tell me what your reaction was to
Sister
to
B,
the book or to hearing the voice say "Hold me"?
Yep. I was considering that a power roll, and
Okay.
she
Yeah.
made a normal success, which means it's a pretty heavy duty thing. So she flinched. Her eyes would have gone just a little wide, but she flinched. But she was able to compose herself that she would never touch the book and just pulled it away. Go, "Oh," and says out loud, "No, I will not be picking you up." And she
Okay.
says that.
Perfect. And we'll cut from that scene and we'll take a quick break.
All right, that sounds good. Everybody take a few minutes, get a beverage, have a pee. We'll see you in a minute. And we are back from break. Michael, it's all you.
Okay, well then I guess we're going over to the Eddy and Buddy Sam punching bag show.
Sure.
Okay, wherever y'all left off, y'all pick it up. If y'all need some guidance, I'll help out.
No, we're all right there, Keeper.
No, you definitely need help with that accent. You need a lot of guidance.
You need help.
So, Mr. Sam, do you actually know something about Richard that you're not telling us? Because it seems like maybe you do.
Well, I don't want to get in any trouble. I got a family to take care of. And,
you keep saying that.
Well, trust me, I'm more scared of my wife than you two right now with your pistol. So I need to just make sure I make myself home tonight. But if I did know something about Richard, would I have your assurances that I could keep this as some sort of confidential carryover to you?
Well, I mean, we can't promise that because we don't know what you did. Wait.
If
you did something, well, it seems like you're trying to hide something, and if you're trying to hide something that was bad, if you broke laws, then we can't tell you that.
Like, let's just say
that we
for
can
example,
keep it secret.
You put a bullet in him. I'm not saying you did, but let's just say theoretically, you lost control and you put a bullet in him. Like,
Mr.
we can't really let you off for that because that means we got to arrest you.
Listen,
but if
Mr.
you got
Dill,
background information, if you know what happened, if you know what's going on, we'd love to hear it. And we're not going to take you in. You're going to help us.
Boy, you like talking, don't you?
Well, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you over the sound of my voice.
Yeah, I could tell. You really do enjoy that and indulge frequently, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do.
You know you do too.
Pot calling the kettle black.
Well, all right. Well, nothing I did, but I happened to stumble upon what seems like a catastrophe over there at Mr. Richard's house. I was accompanying a young lass from this city. Her name is Joe.
Oh, is that why you don't want your wife to know?
Holy shit, buddy. No, she had gone through some trauma. I was just trying to help her out. She seemed a little lost and wayward. It reminded me of my own son in some form and fashion. So, no, sir, take offense to that proposition there.
Well, you seem very nervous, and we don't know this person that you're talking about, and you're saying you went to Richard's house with a young woman.
Well, we met some folks there. Long story short, there was a bit of a bloodbath there that I just wanted nothing to do with. There were brain bits and matter all over the place, and it turns out there's something maybe infectious going on, something contaminating people and leading to organs or body parts or brains or heads or something like that just exploding. There was a friend of Richard's we met, and he was worried he himself also was contaminated and confided in me before he went off, and he found his own demise behind the wheel, and it's just really unfortunate, to be honest with you, as his head exploded apparently as well. So there's something untoward and downright unnatural happening around this town. And
it kind of seems like there's some pieces of that story that might be missing. You said you went to the house and there were people there and there was a bloodbath. Can you tell us some more about that? It seems to be skimming over some details there.
Yeah, well, I came in. These folks all seem to know each other. You see, I got involved after one of their compatriots, that chicken man, insulted my son, and I went to go find them, and went off to the local doctor, and so I stumbled upon this troop that seemed to be aware of him, and they led me back to the house, and he was downright dead already, as well as this man Richard, and a couple
of. Are you saying that his head because I think the report, the report said that he got shot in the head, and that's why his head wasn't so much in one piece anymore.
That wasn't no bullet. It was as if somebody put a large firecracker at the base of his skull, and decided to put up some new wallpaper with it, so to speak.
And did you see this happen?
I'm getting excited. Like, I know Buddy's doing something, but I'm getting excited. Not like that, you idiot. Like, I knew something was wrong. I knew there was something bigger going on here. And this is the first break I've gotten. So you can see that I'm like, and I knew, and I got my notebook and I'm sort of writing all this down, and I'm like, his head's exploding, and I knew the autopsy wasn't right. And I'm like, Buddy, this is the break we needed. This is what we needed to find out.
So, Mr. Sam, was Richard alive when you got there?
No, he's the one whose head looked like you put a couple M80s in the ears, gently, slowly, and then lit the fuse.
I don't know how you would know that. It's also a little weird. And how did you know these people?
Like I said, I went there on a bit of a. I wanted to set the record straight. You see, this chicken man had called our house and Can
we just call it what it is? You went there to punch him in the face.
I went there to punch him in the face.
Let's just be clear.
Let's be clear. I'm being me. And well, they told me where he was. He apparently was at Richard's house, and by the time we got there, he was already dead. In addition to apparently two what looked like government men there at the house.
So there were 4 people dead in the house?
4 people, that's right, including one of the government folks' cars, which was taken.
A dead car, too?
Buddy, you were on a roll for a second there. You were hitting all the right strides there. I don't think we got to worry too much about the car. So I got to ask you a question. I've looked through all the reports. I've read every single report.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see your name come up once. How come you never told the police none of this stuff?
Well, my impression from these individuals was police were not to be at least the local police and some of the local military folks were not to be trusted. There was concern of them covering up or maybe contributing to this in some way. And I could not get my name and my family's name out there for risk of getting them involved and hurt.
So you mentioned this Bello Poulet. What was the name of the woman that you were with, and the people that you met there?
Well, her name was Joe Barnes.
Is that one of the has Joe's name come up for us before?
I think we'll leave this one up to the dice. So no, just you, Eddy. Can you make No, just for
I've
Eddy.
been doing the investigation.
Right.
So
Yeah, can you make an Edu roll? This would clearly fall under Edu just to see if you ran across it.
I got hold on. Yeah, I actually got a half success.
Okay, so you come up with where this would make sense, where it would fall into your investigation, knowing Joe's history, how you would run across her, because that's I'll leave that up to you. I'll be a lazy keeper. Go ahead.
Nice. And who are some of the other people who were there?
Oh, at the time, there was, I believe, a gentleman who knew Richard, a Quentin.
Nope. That was the
Rutherford?
previous character.
Rutherford, thank you so much.
It was Quentin in season 1.
I'm looking through my notes, and I'm like, Rutherford comes up. Joe even comes up. She was connected to that kid, Cully, who got the house.
Yeah.
Cully got the house, but none of them showed up as being interested. They just showed up as people that were around for a little bit, and then they just sort of went away. Rutherford disappeared. He's one of the people that I'm interested in finding if I can. Now you're telling me that he's not even part of the picture. He's dead somewhere. He didn't even come up in a single report as being dead.
Yeah, I saw him on his way out. He was worried he got himself contaminated and didn't want to infect anyone else before his head went a kablooey. He hopped in the
and he died in what's the town we're in? The
Los Alamos.
Thank you. He died in Los Alamos, Sam?
No, he died up the road in the town over.
And I'm turning to Buddy, and I'm like, every time we learn something, this place stinks more and more.
Okay, and I think that's a perfect note. The this town stinks more and more. I want to cut back over to Pappy and Sister B. Y'all make sure you unmute. Go ahead, guys. Y'all take it away, or Sister. So y'all are standing around the table, right? And Joe is sitting. Yeah. Okay.
And Sister B was like, "No, I will not pick you up." And she turns to Pappy. She says, "Oh, Mr. Pappy, this book here, it seems to talk."
Okay, and my interest is really peaked. So I'm going to give the book a really close look.
Okay, so are you leaning over Joe's arm? Like, what are you?
No, I'm on the other side of the table.
Right. So, but Joe's arms around. So the book's in front of Joe, and her.
Oh, I didn't know that. So I'll be over her shoulder then. Yes, leaning over.
Okay, and that cold emanates up into you. Make a POW roll, Pappy.
90. I did not make it.
Okay, so make a sand roll to follow with that then.
59. Not sure what my sanity is. I did not make it.
Okay, let me roll a little friendship die here for you and see. Ooh, you maxed out there. That's 4 points of sanity loss as you lean over Joe. And I think what would probably happen there is that cold from her body would seep into you, and it would evoke some sort of memory out of you. What kind of memory? Just a glimpse, not like a long drawn out thing, but maybe a flash from the past. What would it be?
When a friend and I were investigating some cultist ne'er-do-wells, and we walked in on them. We were trying to interrupt some. Yeah, it was an orgy, but it was a blood orgy. And they were about to sacrifice someone, and sadly we didn't get there in time. And the person was stabbed through the heart.
Okay, so maybe the flash then is that moment of the knife that you feel this chill, and then that moment is the cultist knife going right into that person. Maybe you saw it at that moment, the blood spurting and drawing over the body, and then you flash back and you're reaching for the book.
Okay, well, I'm definitely going to stumble back.
Okay.
And try to get my senses about me.
Okay.
Sister B, there's some powerful evil going on here. Did you feel it?
Oh, and Sister B, she still has her hand there, and it says, "Feel it. I still feel it in my hand. It feels like it is frozen." And she looks at it, expecting to see almost as if her hand is blackened by the frost. But then Sister B pulls herself together and says, "Oh, we are forgetting about our friend Joe." And then Sister B goes to where the ice cream is and any water, and she wants to get a cool cloth to bring over to put on Joe's head, just maybe to pull her out of it, or just to tamp her down. And goes over to ice cream and grabs wet cloth at sink.
Okay, and so you go ahead.
Comes back and starts quietly administering and patting her down on the head and see if she is feverish, or if she is very cool, or what is going on, and if there's any response from her. Is she moving at all? And then she goes right in front of her eyes, and she does, like people who have had concussions or shock, or where their eyes just aren't moving, and wants to see if her pupils are dilated.
Yeah, there's no, as you look into her eyes, there's no response at all.
And she says,
they're not reacting. She's not moving. She's cold. In fact, I mean, I'll go so far as to say, if you couldn't tell that she had a pulse, you'd think she was dead.
Okay. And so Mr. Pappy, we might have to get her to medical attention or hospital. She is in bad way here.
Okay, well, let me, I've got an idea. I've got a toolkit with stuff that I use in my occult activities. So I'm actually going to take a mirror out and put it up in front of her mouth and see if any breath comes out.
And it does, but it's faint, and you have to you wait a moment for it to happen.
Okay.
She's still breathing, sister.
Okay, Mr. Pappy, if you can seem to bundle her together, and maybe we should put a little blanket or something over her, and then I think she is in shock, and maybe we will have to carry her. I do not know. I will go look in back room. I see if this woman, this Betty Lou, is still here, and so
excellent idea. And while you step back there, before I help Joe. I've got a pair of iron tongs, small iron tongs that I use to touch things that I don't want to touch, and I'm going to tong the book, slide it away from Joe, and slip it into a leather bag that I have.
Okay. All right, so you're grabbing the book, putting it into a bag, and then what are y'all doing with Joe?
I'm going to look for some sort of cloth, tablecloth, anything that I can wrap around her to try to warm her up.
It is an ice cream shop, though. Make a luck roll.
48. I think that's good. Let me check. Luck. Jesus fuck. Nope.
Okay. There's nothing. You're basically just gonna have to pick her up. You realize, there's no. You're gonna have to use your own kind of body to add some warmth, and there's no blankets or anything or tablecloths, because it's an ice cream shop.
I'm afraid to do that because of the chill.
Yeah.
That I took.
I'm not saying you do it, but I'm just saying that's pretty much your only option is to pick her up and carry her.
Mm-hmm. Sister B can do that. And she's stout and can do that. But she takes a quick look in back room just to see if there's any of these other things. Mr. Pappy, you found no blanket. I will look in back room. Maybe there's something here. And she looks and are the lights on, lights off? Is it a little office?
No, there's nothing back there that's gonna work for this, unless you want to use a bunch of napkins.
Okay, and then Sister B also does the other thing where she looks back there, and this is Betty Lou's ice cream parlor. So she will quickly do a cursory glance around to see if there's any curiosities, abnormalities, or things that look like they
make a spot
hiding.
hidden roll as you do that.
Ooh, nailed that one. Spot hidden. That's in extremes. What's the middle one?
Hard
success.
Oh, a hard success?
Yeah.
Nah. Yeah. You look around and you're looking. It's just basically the supplies to the ice cream shop.
Okay.
Was there? I'm just trying to think. There's the book, and the only thing maybe you wander up back towards the front of the store.
Mm-hmm.
No, that wouldn't even make sense. So nope. Yep. There's nothing.
Okay, no other doors or anything like that. Okay, and the Sister B says nothing seems to be around here, and especially that Betty Lou, she is not around, and so we will attend to Miss Jo here. She is most important thing.
I have to warn you. When I didn't even touch her. When I got close to her, it sent a chill right up into my mind.
Oh, this is a risk that Sister B will take, and she says, I have carried many of my own sisters when they were hurt, and this is something we must do. There is no choice. And so Sister B grabs her and says, Mr. Pappy, could you carry my suitcase for me? I will throw Miss Jo. I will carry her.
Okay.
And is Miss Jo particularly big?
No, I mean
she's pretty slight.
That's what I thought. She's slight.
She looks years younger than she is because of her small size.
And Sister B is actually particularly strong, so she should be able to carry her.
Huh. I mean, I guess if you really wanted to, Sister B, and you have your suitcase, you could wrap Joe in something from inside your suitcase.
Oh.
If you're particularly concerned about that.
Yes. She will. She'll open suitcase and take out her extra black. She only has two. It's her
Yeah.
extra black
yeah.
dress.
Yeah,
And
those
then
big, heavy cloaks
Yeah.
even that nuns wear.
Yeah, she's her winter cloak, and perfect. And she wraps around her nun cloak
Okay,
around her.
so we'll cut from the scene of Sister B wrapping Joe in a black cloak and then moving over to Buddy, Eddie, and Sam.
So, Mr. Sam, are those the only people that were at that at
No,
Richard's residence?
Well, at Richard's residence, there was also a man, looked like a vagrant of some sort. This a fouled, stinking man named Boone.
I don't think Boone was there at that time.
I thought it was Boone and Rutherford.
No, Boone went down.
Boone was in the car.
Boone went down south to
vehicle,
see his
yeah.
family, and yeah,
This was
You
after he
did-
returned.
No, but you did meet Boone at some point, right?
Yeah,
Didn't Sam and Boone meet each other?
It was Sam and Boone at the house. This was after
oh,
Boone
that's
had
right.
gotten back.
Yep.
Oh,
They
yeah,
did.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, old Sam remembers.
And was Boone his first name or his last name?
I think he's more like Cher. It's just one. Well, I suppose that's not a thing right now. Yeah, just one.
Okay.
Or he didn't share it or care to.
And how did you all wind up getting from Los Alamos to Abiquiu?
Oh, it's like you're asking these leading questions. So
You did say that Richard or that Rutherford died in Abiquiu. So
I actually didn't say which town.
You said the next.
You
town
said the
over.
next town over.
Was Abiquiu. We were already on our way there.
Interesting. So
Keep
you
going.
already had a bit of this.
going,
Well,
Sam.
I drove my truck, and the rest of them took one of the government vehicles from the two men who were killed there on site.
And don't you remember the Boone Mobile that I tried to give you to make up for the fact that I blew up your chicken?
Is that what you did? Yeah, okay. Well, that was when I was Bello. This is Sam, for what it's worth.
No, but I still had that. That's what I drove
you did.
to.
That's what you drove.
Abiquiu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
why did they decide to leave
doodlebug.
Richard's house, and where were they going in Abiquiu?
Well, they claim they found some sort of clue or hint to an alternative house of Richard's in Abiquiu.
Oh, do you have that address?
Keeper, can I do
I'm looking in his eyes to see if he's lying to me.
like a psychology roll or an intuition here to figure out should I trust them at this point?
Yeah, absolutely. You should. I fully support that. Yeah, go for it. You make that roll.
Thank you.
You're divulging a lot of information.
You're right. I got a 22.
Which is that a success? Is it an extreme success? Is it
No.
a hard success?
Well, it depends on what you're asking me. What should I roll? Was this going to be a psychology? You think?
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah. No.
Is there a role that would have made more sense?
Then, Sam, I would say you're neither. You're uncertain about it, right? Like they're new people. I think your instinct, your intuition might be that you want to trust them, but you're totally uncertain at this point.
Yeah.
Is I think what that says, and that's totally reasonable in this moment.
I would like to remind you that you did punch me in the face, and we did not put bullets in you or let them haul you away. So,
I also divulged quite a bit here out of kindness and generosity.
Yeah, I think he's gone pretty
kindness and
far.
generosity.
Hey, cooperating with an investigation.
Yeah, maybe. Let's be optimistic. Okay,
That's like civic duty.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
fair.
okay. So all right. So I asked the question, like about the address, and do you know where it's located? And I said we don't mean anyone any harm. We are just trying to get to the bottom of this. There's something bigger going on, Sam. You're a good citizen. You helped out. You're trying to do the right thing here. We're just trying to do the same thing.
Listen, I appreciate it. I appreciate your kindness here and not locking me up for my moment of hallucinatory
Indiscretion.
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 But I'll be honest. I don't know you two from Adam, and well, I'd like to just get to know you a bit better before I start giving out other people's personal information.
As much as I appreciate that, and certainly drinking a cup of coffee together, I'm all good with that. This is an official investigation, and there's one of two ways that you give us the information. We work with you, or we put you in handcuffs and we see what happens after that.
Sir, right, we're gonna cut from that scene and go back to Sister B and Pappy carrying Joe out.
I'll punch him again. No, go ahead.
Okay, Sister B puts Joe. Well, I think she could probably just carry her, probably holding her, because Sister B has good 60 strength. She's a strong woman, and so she lifts her up and tosses her over her shoulder, that way, her head over her shoulder, and carries her as gently as she can, and then says to Mr. Pappy, "Oh, do you know where the nearest medical facility is? Do we? I don't know."
Sure. No, I'm new to town.
And I said, "We are not going anywhere near that bigger facility that has military people, but there must be other doctor or something in town." And so we go out into the street, and hopefully maybe we see someone walking by.
You do. You see... Well, Pappy, make a spot hidden.
14. That's got to be some
that?
kind of... 14.
What is that for you?
It's a hard success.
Okay, a hard success. So, I mean, certainly you'd see some bystanders or some people walking around. You'd also catch glimpses of somebody that, or you'd catch glimpses of figures that disappear behind buildings that would make you suspicious. You're like on high alert essentially now that you have this book in your possession and you have Joe in your hands. So
I'll go up to the most innocuous looking person and say, "We've got a injured young person here. Got to get her to the doctor."
Yeah, go right down the street there and take a right, and then take a left, and then take another right, and you'll be right there. There's a great doctor down there.
Okay, what's the doctor's name?
Dr. Schilton.
Dr. Scholes?
Dr. Schilton. That's what I was thinking.
Schilton.
A shoe doctor.
Dr. Charlatan? Okay. Thank you. You've been kind. And then I go down a little bit, find someone else, and ask them the same thing, just to kind of compare.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, you people! This town is.
You wanna go down the block? Take a right, take a left, take another right. You'll be right down there. It's Dr. Schilton. Everybody knows him. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. And we go. We take a right. We take a left. We take
no.
Right.
The right one. He said left, right, the left. Now he said right, left, right. They are obviously leading us astray. It is a terrible.
So they would put a young woman's life in danger.
These are horrible people. Okay. So Sister B carries a Joe and says, "Oh, we will go," and she actually goes into a trot, and she wants to get there as fast as can.
So y'all are running. You need to make a strength roll. See if you can carry this on. It's not a lot, but I got to see what kind of state you're in.
Okay, I left the dice in another room, and wife has gone to bed. That is more dangerous than rolling a 96. So I'm going to let Mr. Pappy roll my dice.
Okay. You got a 55.
Oh, piece of cake. That is success.
Hey, so you're pretty much, Pappy, you're pretty impressed, right? Sister B's running. She's got Joe in her arms.
Yeah, I can barely keep up with the bags. I've only, I'm 70 years old and only have a 45 strength. So she's probably pulling out ahead of me.
Okay. And so as you walk into the doctor's office, it is a freestanding building, but there's a receptionist. And as you walk in, the door swings shut behind you. And while you're at the desk, there's another person in the waiting room, a woman. She's about, in her 50s or 60s, in kind of a hat and a dress. And and so you can go right up to the receptionist and tell her what you need.
Okay, and he says, and of course introduces says, I am Sister Bieroplushkin from the Order of the Sisters from the East, and I have a young.
Hello, sister. How can I help you?
And if you could see this young woman, we have found her, and she is in great distress. I cannot see any physical injuries, but she is very cold and barely breathing. We need to administer her in an emergency matter.
Does she have health insurance?
Oh.
I will look at her wallet and see if there is a XLS Blue Cross Shield card in there.
No, but and she says, no, sister, the doctor will see you most quickly. I'll let him know. And she jumps up and she heads to kind of the back of the office. As you turn around, you're holding Joe in your arms, and another patient walks in through the door. Ding, as it kind of jings the door, and sits down and kind of takes a seat next to the woman in her 50s or 60s, and picks up a newspaper and starts to read it as well.
Okay.
And she comes back and she says, the doctor will be with you just in a minute. It'll just be a minute.
I was going to, every minute counts. This is emergency situation.
Okay.
I think I probably would have made it there by now. I was lagging behind.
Oh, that's right. You were behind us.
Okay. Yeah, and so you would come in and you would see the scene. There's a woman on the right reading the paper, and then another woman sitting there just kind of tapping her foot and holding her hat.
My paranoia,
like carrying Joe.
My paranoia is kind of, and anxiety's through the roof. So I'm going to really give a good look up and down the two people that are sitting there to see if I catch any sort of weird vibe off of them.
Okay, make a psychology roll.
3.
Oh, man.
I don't think I even have psychology.
Wow.
Oh, I do. I have a 60 in psychology, so that's an extreme success.
Okay. So you're kind of basically, situating everybody. The woman with the hat, kind of tapping her foot and looking off, looks legitimately anxious to you. You catch the person with the paper sneaking glances at Sister B and Joe from behind the paper. And you also pick up that for the time, she's wearing clothes that don't seem quite to fit her. They're a little high up off the ankles and a little short in the wrists. And you're even wondering if they're possibly men's clothes.
Who is this now?
It's a woman sitting reading the newspaper next to the other woman.
Okay. Yep, I hear what you're saying. Okay, well, I'm going to grab a seat so that I'm directly across from the person reading the newspaper. And I'm going to reach into my pocket and put my hand on my gun. And I'm just going to be acutely aware of everything that's going on in the room, but especially the person sitting across from me.
All right, and we'll cut over to the other three then. Sam, Eddy, and Buddy, you're on.
Okay, so Mr. Sam, sir,
Yes.
I know you're reticent to answer too many more questions, but I'm just trying to understand the story here so that I can get it straight in my head. So you went into the house with Miss Joe, and there were 4 dead people in there and 2 men. Is that it? So there was Mr. Rutherford, and
Joe wasn't with me at the time. She was still back at the clinic.
A clinic? What clinic?
The doc here in town.
Where you went looking for the chicken man?
Chicken man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then how did you wind up going from the doctor to Richard's house?
That's where they said the chicken man was, and I was just
okay,
gonna
that
find
makes
my way
sense.
there.
Okay,
Yep.
so you were gonna go punch the chicken man.
Yep.
Okay, and then you got there, and there were 4 dead people and 2 men. There was the Boone, Mr. Boone, one named Mr. Boone, and Richard's friend Rutherford.
It's correct.
And don't forget Joe and Cully.
Well, was Cully at the house?
During this period, I think it was just I think you guys were still back at the clinic, Cully. You and Joe.
Okay, and there was nobody else there.
That was it.
Okay, and then what happened?
Well, then sort of a premonition that we needed to get out of there from Mr. Rutherford, and we got in our vehicles, and I headed back to the clinic, and at that point there was concern that more of the military folks may be coming after these youngins, and so I was asked and beseeched if I would help them get to Abiquiu. And that's what I did. I helped Joe and Cully get themselves all the way over to Abiquiu.
Okay, and at the clinic it was Joe and Cully.
There's the there's a clinic staff as well.
Okay, and then you went with Joe and Cully to Abiquiu.
Yeah, I took them over to Abiquiu. And I'm happy to show you guys, but listen. I need a favor first.
Keeper, do I believe him that he's being truthful?
Yeah, one of the things I said is that I was going to be looking closely to look for signs that he's lying to us. So I'm letting Buddy take lead, but I'm studying him like as closely as I can.
All right, Eddie, you make a psychology roll, and Buddy, you make an intelligence roll.
Okay.
To be fair, I have not lied in any fashion. I just have not added truthful elements.
No.
That's a success for me.
Okay. So, Buddy, I think you believe him.
Okay.
And you would be willing to advocate that you believe him.
Okay.
I just rolled
And
something I've never rolled before.
100?
A 1.
Oh.
Holy shit.
I think it's my first time in this entire game that I've rolled a 1.
I don't know if anyone's rolled a 1.
Wow.
How is it that we've never rolled a 1, but we've rolled like 37 100? How is that statistically possible?
Gaming gods.
Kind of a great question. But anyway, then you would be able to parse exactly on the money that Sam is being honest with you, but he is withholding parts. But not in a malicious way, just probably what you would expect at this level of questioning somebody, right?
So, I mean, I have lists of names of people that have, like I had the names of the people that he's talking about, but they were sort of background. So I've got other names. So one of the things that I would maybe wondering is he leaving people out from that list?
Sam, are you leaving people out? And I don't think we have to rehash season 2 like scene by scene. So I think this is probably a good point to say like.
No, I mean, Sam was not hiding, but not volunteering that Franny was there as well.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, I know you were going after that.
Art knows that, but Buddy is just trying to get the full story because it's the way you were sort of glossing over stuff was like, oh yeah, there's a bloodbath. Wait, what now?
Yeah, so
I was trying not to metagame it.
That's why I'm wondering if I would have any sense of like missing people from this story.
Yeah, I mean, I think you would have to assume that there are missing pieces, and of those missing pieces, there's going to be missing people. But on the other hand, that Sam is being pretty forthcoming given the situation. And I think, based on that role, you would have to give him credit that given the scenario, and this is like your FBI kind of intuition of an interrogation, that Sam's being pretty damn forthright and giving you a lot of information. However, like anything, there's still more to come.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Okay.
Also gross.
Yeah, there is. All right. So I'd be like, Sam, you know what? We put you under the thumb screws, right? We put you under a lot of pressure here. You're giving us good information. I appreciate that. I said that thing about locking you up. Here's the thing. I'm not going to lock you up. You're trying to do the right thing.
Well, thanks.
I appreciate it. If you got anything else you want to tell us, if buddy, you got more questions, it's been a long day. It's been a long day for all of us.
Well, how about this? Do you two have a place you'd like to hunker down tonight?
Yeah, I would think we would. I mean, Buddy's got housing.
Yeah, and I've got my hotel room. So.
Oh, all right.
Just one more question. Do you where did they go in Abiquiu?
Well, it's I don't feel comfortable telling you that and having you scamper out.
Ask him and he wouldn't tell me.
But listen, I'll take you out there myself.
And we'll cut from there. Okay? Right to Sister B, Pappy in the doctor's office, Joe in Sister B's arms.
Okay, and then Sister B, she looks for open chair because she needs to put Joe down. She can't hold her like this uncomfortable. So she wants to put her in comfortable chair and a waiting chair and set her down quietly.
Okay. And you notice, Sister B, as you set her down, like this coldness lifted from you as you put her down. It's just it really kind of messes with your whole system.
So the one thing Sister B wants to try to put together, the coldness that is coming from her, is it similar to the coldness when she put her hand near your book?
And Pappy, you can't help but be feeling watched by the woman across from you. It's no longer like you're no longer kind of guessing whether she's she's looking at you.
In fact, I'm going to give up my chair to Sister B.
Okay.
Like, have a seat, and I'll lean in and whisper that we're being watched, and then I'll just stand against the wall.
Oh, Mr. Pappy, thank you for giving me chair, and you're so kind. And she looks over you with a little wink. Just going back, is the cold from Joe similar to the cold from the book?
Oh, good question. Make an intelligence roll.
Hey, Pappy, make me an intelligence roll.
Oh, okay. 55 again.
Got it. All right.
Okay. And so for you, then, I think that, that's good. That's going to be good enough.
That it seems the same type of cold.
No. That it seems different. I'm sorry.
Different. Oh, okay. Different type of cold emanating from her. Okay, and then Sister B will stand up and for 1 second. Oh, and straightens out her.
In fact, let me go back and just say Joe feels cold. The book made you feel cold. There's the distinction.
Gotcha. So that's the difference. Okay. So Sister B will stand. She has her suitcase there, and she gets up and she straightens in. She goes, "Oh, after going so far, I need to straighten out the clothes here and neaten myself up a little bit." And she just looks over at the woman with newspaper, and he says, "Oh, look at you! It says you're just so fine today. That is a lovely outfit you're wearing, a young woman, or is it a young woman?"
It does appear to be a young woman. Yep.
And she just engages her and just looks at her straight and just says that. He says, "Oh, what a lovely outfit do you have on here?"
The woman just kind of grunts and keeps reading her newspaper.
Ah! I did not see that coming.
Oh, there you go.
Nice. And on that note, then we will end for the evening.
Wow.
I was totally ready to shoot you.
That would be so funny.
Well, at least I was in the doctor's office.
Oh, shit.
All right, that's going to do it for us tonight.
That's good. Didn't see it.
Until next time, you can find us at underthelibrary.com. I am no longer doing the Twitter thing, so if you happen to be on post.news, you can find me there. I am at Arthur. Michael's still holding down the fort on Twitter. He is under the LIB.
And on the wait list.
and on the wait list for post.news. And don't forget, check out our other show, Up Your RPG, wherever you get your podcasts. So until next time, for me, for Michael, for Emily, Scott, Wayne, Rick, and Chris, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.